Yes, good morning everyone. I hope you all are fine and healthy. So we'll be starting with our next lecture today that we'll be knowing what it is about after a few seconds after you are done with your observations which you can make from these two pictures. Yes, what you can see in front of you. Yes, very good students. Just write your observations in the comment section below so I'll be able to know them. Yes, in the first picture we can see the farmer is showing something, spreading something into the field, right? What is that something according to you? What do you think that something is? What farmer is spreading in his field? In the first picture and in the second picture, he's spreading, releasing, we can say, spraying something in the field, right? To the plants that he has planted. Yes, very good students. So these are fertilizers, or we can say also fertilizers and pesticides basically. So what would be the work of fertilizers and pesticides? Yes, anybody who knows it already? We'll be discussing more about it. So we'll be moving forward with these, the thought that we have from these pictures. Okay, so there is this question that is in front of you, that have you ever seen any farmer spreading manure or fertilizer in the fields or gardens? Do you know why this is being done by them? Do you have any idea why this practice is being performed by farmers of spraying, or we can say spreading manure or fertilizers in the fields? Yes, very good. You can write your responses in the comment section below. I'll be able to read them if you do. I'll be knowing what thoughts you are having for this statement. That have you ever seen farmers spreading manure or fertilizers in the field, and why do you think they are doing so? It is a task for them, right? It is taking efforts, so there must be some benefits from it. Yes. So firstly, very good students. So you are also right about it, that they are basically trying to increase the yield of their crop, right? They're trying to increase the yield of their crop that they have planted for their, for the purpose of selling for commercial value also, and for other, that they're wanting the crop to be healthy basically, even for themselves also. So that is the reason that farmers are spraying the fertilizers in their field and manure as well, to make their crop have a better yield. So we'll be moving forward. Yes. So now, what is this replenishment of nutrients in the soil? Yes, this is what the fertilizers are doing to the soil. Do we all agree on that? That when we add manure and fertilizers to the soil, we are replenishing the nutrients that are there in the soil. In that way only we are increasing the yield of the soil, or we can say increase of the increase the yield of the crop that we have planted. Because if we replenish the nutrients in the soil, that nutrients will in turn go into the into the fields and into the crop that we have planted, and in turn it will be increasing the yield of the crop as well. So it is a good practice to do, right, by the farmers. It is a wise decision. Yes, very good students. I hope you are understanding well with me. So we'll be moving forward. Replenishment but basically means when we are adding on something that is already there. Nutrients are already there in the soil, but we are enhancing them. We are adding additional nutrients to the soil with the help of manure and fertilizers. So that will help in increasing the yield of the crop. Yes. Yes, now we have this slide in front of us that says plants absorb plants absorb minerals and nutrients from the soil, that we are aware of already. Yes, I hope you are also. If not, then you came to know it by now. You're coming to know. So they absorb the nutrients from the soil, so their amount in the soil keep on declining. Fertilizers and manures contain nutrients such as, yes, do you know what nutrients do the fertilizers and manures contain? So the nutrients and fertilizers have the fertilizers and the manures have the nutrients that are nitrogen, phosphorus. Basically, we call it as NPK. NPK. We also check the NPK value of the soil to check the amount of nutrients a type of soil is having. That is done in the laboratory. In higher classes also. So when we say that fertilizers and manures are added in the soil, the nutrients that are being added with it are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. N for nitrogen, P for phosphorus, and K for the potassium. So they are the basic and necessary nutrients that are required in the soil for the proper yield of the crop. They're already there, but they are declining as the plant is using them continuously. So to replenish their amount, we are adding fertilizers and manure. So nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium will be the answer to this. So these nutrients need to be added from time to time to enrich the soil or replenish the soil. So here enrich and replenish means the same. They are the synonyms of the same word. So we can grow plants and keep them healthy if we can fulfill the nutrient requirement of plants. So it is saying for a plant to be healthy, to grow properly, if we want the plants to be that plant or that crop to be healthy, this nutrient requirement should be fulfilled. Just like us humans, we need certain nutrients in us, yes, to grow healthy, to stay healthy, to have a healthy immunity as well, to have good immunity as well, so that it will be helping us to live a good life. In the same way, for the plant to grow healthy and have a good journey towards its life cycle, we need to enrich the soil with the certain nutrients that is required by the plants. So I hope this is all clear to you now. We'll be moving forward. Yes, we'll be moving forward towards the next slide. Yes. Now we have these two questions in front of you. I'll be giving you 10 seconds to answer the first question, that is the fertilizers and manures contain nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus, or all of these. Yes, you will be giving your answers. I'll be giving you 10 seconds for this. Yes. So whether the fertilizers and manures are having nutrients only that contain only nitrogen, or that contain only potassium, or only phosphorus, or all of these three nutrients are present in the fertilizers and manure. You will be adding your responses in the comment section below. Yes, very good, students. So the answer to this question should be yes, it should be all of these, because we have just discussed that we also check the NPK value of the soil. The NPK value basically tells us the amount of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium present in any type of soil, which tells us that if the soil is nutrient rich or not. So the all of these will be the answer, that potassium, nitrogen, and phosphorus are all present in fertilizers and manure, which we add to our crops to enrich the nutrients present in the soil basically. So the next question that is there is the plants or fruits, you can say, which you have eaten in your daily life, are they also grown with the help of fertilizers? Yes. So the plants or food which you eat in your daily life, are they grown with the help of fertilizers or not? Have you ever noticed? Have you ever seen anyone adding fertilizers or manure to the soil? I'll be giving you 10 seconds to think about it and give your response in the comment section below. Yes. Yes, you must have noticed this. Yes. So the answer, yes, I'll be giving you 5 seconds more. So the answer to this question would be yes, that farmers do add fertilizers to the plants or fruits, because this is if they are added in good the appropriate amount, they may not become harmful to us, but they should not be added in excess amount, because excess of everything is harmful to us, to anyone, to nature as well. So excess should not be there, but yes, the appropriate amount would not be harming, but would be useful to increase the yield of the crop as compared to the population that we are having to serve. Yes. So yes, I am glad to know that this is something you have observed in your daily life as well. So this is just advice that you should not be adding excess of it, and just the appropriate amount should be added. So we'll be moving forward from here now. Yes, so the next thing is that we're going to discuss about is mutualism or symbiosis. Symbiosis. Have you ever heard of these two words before? They mean the same thing here because we are using or to describe them. Yes, mutualism or symbiosis. Okay, so we are going to discuss upon them now. Yes, I'll just move myself so that you'll be able to see better. Yes, so there are certain plants which live in association with other species and share their food resources basically. Both the type mutually gain from each other. Such plants and the relationship that they are having with each other are called as symbiosis basically. For example, an example that is certain fungi live inside the roots of plants. The plants provide nutrients to the fungus and in return basically the fungus provides water and certain nutrients. Yes, but it is saying that there are certain plants which are associated with. Yes, so if we talk about symbiosis, then what do we say? That if this is, sorry for this, yes, if this is one plant, yes, and these are the roots that plant is having, right, and these are the roots. If some fungus are attached, sometimes another example is also the mycorrhizal association. These are also the plant-like structures, the microorganisms basically. So if we have this fungi attached to this plant, so it will be helping the plant in absorption of water. So it is helping the plant in absorption of water, and they in turn are getting what they are getting. They are getting nutrients from the. So nutrients are being taken up by the plant, by the fungi that is attached to the root of the plant, while the fungi is providing is like readily getting available the water that is present in the ground. So they are having both mutual relationship because there is no harmful impact of this fungus or this fungi to the plant, and there is no harmful effect of this plant towards the fungus as well. So we can see two positive here. This relationship from one side is also positive, and in the return it is also positive because no one is being harmed in this relationship. So we are calling this a mutualism or symbiosis. So please try to remember this, that symbiosis and mutualism means the same thing, where the interaction that is happening between the two organisms, that is positive because nobody is getting harmed. Both the parties are receiving the benefits from each other. So that is what mutualism is all about. Yes, so we'll move forward from this slide now. So I hope you know the meaning of the mutualism relationship that certain organisms are having in nature now. Okay, now when you see this, when a bird is sitting on the back of a rhino is an example of symbiosis. Yes or no? You can give your reasons. Yes. So when we say a bird is sitting and he must be eating some ticks or lice from the rhino, so that would make this relationship a symbiotic relationship because the rhino is getting rid of the tick that is there on his body, while the bird is having his food, he is eating something, so they are both getting the benefit and no one is getting harm, right? So that will be an example of symbiotic relationship. So we'll be moving forward now. Yes, now we have this again another example of symbiotic relationship, or we can say mutualism, that occurs in nature, that is there in nature. So this is basically nitrogen fixation, how the atmospheric nitrogen is being fixed by certain bacteria for plants basically, and that those bacteria are having their nutrients from the plant in turn. So we'll see what is there. So though nitrogen gas is available in plenty in the air, we know that nitrogen is like it's more than 70% in the atmosphere, right? So, though nitrogen gas is available in plenty in the air, but plants cannot use it in the manner as they can use carbon dioxide. So, it's a pity that plants cannot use this carbon dioxide that is readily available in the amount, in a plenty amount in the atmosphere, and they do need to depend on others for it. Yes, so they cannot use as readily they can use carbon dioxide, so they need nitrogen in a soluble form. So they must convert the nitrogen, atmospheric nitrogen, into soluble form. For that, so the bacterium called rhizobium can take atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into a usable form. So the bacterium that is named as rhizobium can take the atmospheric nitrogen, which is not insoluble, which is an insoluble form, and convert it into a usable form, which is a soluble form that is required by the plants. So rhizobium cannot make its own food. That is a pity as well. So they are both having a situation where they are not able to do something, right? But the other person can do that thing, right? So rhizobium cannot make its own food. So it often lives in the roots of gram the chana, peas, mutton dana, then moong, that is a legume, and beans and other legumes as well, and provide them with nitrogen in return. Yes, so we can say that the one person, if there is this cap, I have divided this. If this is the rhizobium, it is not having the body, yes, which will be using the right, and if this is the plant, basically the tree, it is not having the cap, then that ink in the marker will be like flown away. Yes, it will be uh, like blown away in the atmosphere, because we know that alcohol will be released in the atmosphere, it will be fly into the air. Yes, and it will be flown away that way. So we can say that it requires this thing and this thing requires this. So they both require each other. So we can say they both are benefited when we are joining them together in this way. So in the same way, the plant is not having the availability of soluble nitrogen easily as it can get the carbon dioxide, and the rhizobium cannot make its own food, which plants can do pretty easily. So they both require each other for that. So that will be making this whole situation a symbiotic situation which they will be following in the nature. So I hope this whole situation is clear to you, and I try to make it easy, but I hope that helped. Yes, so rhizobium and plants, leguminous plants, they show leguminous plants. Leguminous basically are category of plants that are having beans and legumes. So we'll be moving forward. Yes, we'll be checking the understanding that what we have discussed till now, if you have got it or not. So the first question that is there, it is nitrogen gas is abundantly present in where? Where is the nitrogen gas most abundantly present? I'll give you 5 seconds to give response to this question. Excuse me. Yes, so the correct answer to this question should be air. That most abundantly present, where the nitrogen gas is most abundantly present, it is air. And the next question is, name the bacteria which can convert atmospheric nitrogen into usable form. That we have just discussed the name of that bacteria which can convert basically the atmospheric nitrogen into soluble form for the and make it available to the plants to make a symbiotic association and to get the food from the plant in turn, because they are not able to make their own food. Yes, I'll give you 5 seconds to give answer to this question. Yes, so the answer to this question would be rhizobium is the bacteria which is having a symbiotic relationship with the leguminous plants basically, that is able to fix the atmospheric nitrogen into usable form. So you will be naming the pulses that you eat in your daily life. Yes, now this is what you have to do. You will be I'll give you 10 seconds. You can write your responses in the comment section below. Yes. So the pulses, yes, very good students. So peas, kidney beans, yes, that is rajma, kidney beans, moong dal, gram, yes, these are the legumes or we can say pulses. Very good students. So we'll be moving forward. Yes. So we have this question in front of us that will be stating true or false. So symbiotic relationship is of great significance for the farmers. So symbiotic relationship is of great significance for the farmers. Is it true or false? Because farmers depends on the crop, right? The Sorry for the disturbance. Yes. So the I would say you are all correct that symbiotic relationship is essential, or we can say is significant importance for the farmers because they depend on their crop. And if the plants are not able to fix nitrogen, yes, if they are providing that nitrogen to the plants, then surely we can say that it is of significant importance towards the farmers because it is helping their plants, their crop to develop, to have a good yield, and to grow properly, basically by providing them the thing that they are requiring. So very good students, you are done well. We'll be moving forward towards the recap to what we have done today. So we have discussed about how we are adding the certain nutrients, we are providing certain nutrients to the soil to replenish, to enrich the soil with the nutrients just like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. These are the example of nutrients that are essential for plants. And we are adding fertilizers and manures, be it in precise amount, in optimum, in the amount, appropriate amount that is required, so to the soil, to enrich the amount of nutrients that are present, to increase the yield of the soil, to increase the yield of the crop that we have planted, basically. So the farmers are doing these practices. We have discussed about this. And we have also discussed about the symbiotic relationship between the plants and the bacteria to fix the nitrogen. So basically the process of nitrogen fixation, we'll be discussing more about that in detail, but basically we have just discussed about how nitrogen fixation helps the plants, and in turn the plants are helping the bacteria that is fixing the nitrogen for it, that is rhizobium, the bacteria. Yes. And lastly we have discussed about, yes, that how these symbiotic relationships are helpful to the farmers, they are that are there in their fields. Yes. So they are helping them by increasing the yield of the crop that they have planted. So in that way we are done with a recap, and you will be giving answer to these questions that are there. You will be defining symbiotic relationship. Yes, I'll be waiting for you for 5 to 10 seconds to give your responses to these questions, that you'll define symbiotic relationship and you'll give some examples of leguminous plants, and you'll tell that how rhizobium is helpful for plants. Yes, now you must be knowing the answers to these questions that define symbiotic relationship. Yes, very good students. When both the parties who are there in the relationship, they are getting the benefits from each other, then we are calling that relationship as a symbiotic relationship. You are correct about it. And if you talk about the second, give some examples of leguminous plants. Yes. Yes, so the examples to that would be beans, we can say soya bean, kidney bean, moong dal, yes, gram, Pisum sativum, that we call as pea plant. Yes, very good students, you have done well. If we talk about the high rhizobium is helpful for plants, so we have just discussed that rhizobium is helping the plant in fixing the atmospheric nitrogen in soluble form, which plant is not able to do. So in that way, rhizobium bacteria is helping the plants, and in turn, it is getting the nutrients, it is getting the food from the plant, because it is not able to make its own food. So very good students, you have done well. So we'll be moving forward towards the homework that you'll have to do. So the first question that you'll have to do is, plants take carbon dioxide from the atmosphere mainly through which part and how? And you'll try to find that out, and you'll explain with suitable diagram to this question. And the second question that you'll do is, why do farmers grow many fruits and vegetables crop inside large greenhouses? Yes, this is something to know about. What are advantages to the farmers to grow their vegetables and crops inside the large greenhouses? And this activity that you'll have to perform is basically that you'll plant a small tree or small plant at your home in 2 pots, And in one pot, put water and manure, and in another pot, put only water, no other fertilizer. And after few days, you'll observe the changes in these plants of different pots. Note down your observations in your notebook. So tomorrow you will be coming with certain pictures that you have clicked after placing the arrangement of these two pots, so that we can observe the before and after effect of what you have done. So thank you students for being a good sport. If there are any queries, you can write them in the chat box, or you will say in the comment section below. I will be looking after them. And if there are any suggestion, you can give them. I will be following them if they are necessary. Yes. And thank you for being a good support. We'll be meeting with another interesting lesson in the next class. Thank you.